Welcome to Comics with Jose. My name is Jose. I love comics and I want to share them with you. Follow me on Twitter at Art of J Velez or on Instagram at jvelez622. I share some doodles and drawings as well as a comic book that I'm working on free of charge. Like, follow, and subscribe if you enjoy this. We'll go over comic books that I have and enjoy. However, I do use the digital version for the purposes of this. We kind of review the artwork and the story of comic books that I think are pretty cool and I think people should read and get. Hope you enjoy it. Welcome back, everyone. I'm glad my silly voice hasn't scared you off and you're back here. Today we are going to look at JLA Volume 1, Number 1 from 1997. I have this issue. I bought it when it first came out. It was a relaunching of the Justice League. Prior to this, the Justice League was a list of B and C and D heroes, so no one that people really cared about, and sales plummeted. So DC decided to bring the big guns. This is also Grant Morrison's first work in the mainstream. Prior to this, Grant Morrison just kind of did Vertigo stuff, and his creator, he kind of had just adult issues. I believe he had done Batman. I forgot the name of it. With Dave McKean, he had done a graphic novel, Arkham Asylum, and this is really him coming in to do full-time superhero work. He had a very good run doing JLA, quite successful. He ended up doing X-Men and other superhero work. So Grant Morrison is an incredible writer and sometimes a little hard to figure out. So here, for those of you not familiar with how they looked during this era, this is Aquaman, the Martian Manhunter. This is Kyle Rayner, Green Lantern at that time. Hal Jordan had died fighting Parallax, and Kyle Rayner became the new Green Lantern. Wally West Flash, Wonder Woman, of course, Batman, of course, and I like to call him the mullet Superman. Superman had a mullet during this part in the mid-90s, a little bit of long hair after the death of Superman, and they brought him back. He kept the mullet. Clark Kent also had a mullet, so don't ask me how people couldn't figure it out. Again, glasses. It's comic books. Let's not overthink it. So, great cover. Howard Porter is the penciler. Howard Porter kind of rose into prominence because of this title. He stayed on this title for quite a while. He stayed with Grant Morrison's run, and then he did a little bit of Mark Waid's run. So, we start off with the credits here. In the original, the credits are in the title page, but this is from a trade. So Howard Porter is the penciler with inks by John Dell. Howard Porter is someone who is still working in comic books. This was his highest profile work, though. So we start out in Washington, D.C. at the White House. They're just kind of talking some filler stuff when suddenly something's happening. And he's talking with Maxwell Lord. That's when he says, "Send me a miracle, Lord." He's not talking about Lord as in God. He's talking about Maxwell Lord. And this ship is suddenly showed up out of nowhere. And he says, somebody call the Justice League. At this time, the Justice League is on their satellite above the Earth. These, it's Metamorpho. I really don't know who these other two are, but we they're caught as in surprise as well. So they know that something's going on. So the Justice League sees that Superman is heading there. I really want to just pause here real quick and just take a look at. It seems, there's certain artists that you look at their work and their poses and their how dynamic it is, but this is so serviceable. It totally. Here's a nice picture of Superman. I did not like the mullet, but this is not his fault. This is how Superman was during this era. So that's not the artist's fault. He didn't design Superman this way. In fact, Superman is actually going to get a little worse because then it comes the electric Superman. So, but hey, after that he loses the mullet, so at least something good came out of that. So right now Superman is flying in, but I really like I like the simplicity. It actually looks very Kirby-ish, but without the stiffness. But if Jack Kirby drew Superman, I would expect a approach similar to this, and it's actually not too bad. So, as complimentary as at least I'll get toward Jack Kirby. So, a story for another day. So, Superman has arrived. Checkmate is there protecting the. I believe this is Maxwell Lord. So, they're there with him. Um, and inside these eggs now is someone coming, and he tells them to put the guns down until he sees what they're up against. I like this big pose. I actually like him with the legs spread out. Looks a little bit more imposing. So uh, Howard Porter does spot a lot of blacks as well. So this is the early era of computer coloring. So you can, if you, I don't know if you can see this foot and this foot, but they're a little out of focus, and that was done on purpose. This is the era of computer coloring and computer drawing. So this is where it all sort of started. This modern era that we're in. It was the beginning of it. So the title of this story is called Them, and the credits would have been here. So these group of people that came in, this is Protex. He seems to be the leader of this group that is called the Hyperclan, and these are the members of them. Just kind of letting you guys take a look before I change the page. So Protex kind of says a little bit about each and every one. I won't get too much into detail of it, but they've been around trying to save planets one at a time. Basically, their home. It's a cautionary tale, basically saying that they destroyed the Earth, similar to the way humans are destroying the Earth right now. So, very completely understandable. It's a relatable story because we all know what's happening to the Earth. This is the Flash here. She's saying that she needs the dry cleaning, and he went and got it, and just right back to where it started. That's how fast he is. So the Flash was very fast during this time. I mean, speed of light fast. So Wonder Woman and Green Lantern and the Martian Manhunter. Like I said, he's just talking through and says that he's going to help humanity. So, one of the first things they do is they go to the Sahara Desert and they begin to terraform it and make it into like rain and luscious, all that kind of stuff. Superman is saying, "Hey, um, I know that it looks cool, but I think these are just cosmetic changes. Deserts can't be fixed." He's absolutely correct. They're deserts because of a reason. It's not. Deserts have existed long before climate change, long before anything. They are part of the ecosystem. You cannot create. You just can't terraform a desert and expect it to stay like a luscious thing. So the people are saying, "Oh, these are sour grapes. You guys didn't do anything." Um, and he uh, he basically says, "Oh, it's not. Superman's just not being." Um, uh, he understands his reservations, but he's going to be out there continuing to work and fixing the world. So protects. Um, Now they're this person here is a character named Judgment. He was a villain of the Justice League, but the previous Justice League before. He's a minor villain, um, and they're gonna kill all these prisoners. Now I want to show you here that this is Doctor Doom, and you can't see him because he's been blurred. Again, the era of blurriness and beginning Photoshop, but this is Wolverine here. So they're apparently going to kill him, and I believe this is Loki. It looks like they're the horns. So, but we really can't tell. But we definitely can tell it's Doctor Doom. So, all the other villains are now hiding. So in the satellite, back during this time, the Justice League had a satellite, and Wonder Woman and Green Lantern have joined Metamorpho in the league. When suddenly it looks like they're gonna get invaded, and they knock off the power. And so I love this pose here of Green Lantern. Kind of just just don't see very many superheroes kind of hunched over. I really enjoy this one. This pose here of Green Lantern. And they figure out that it is that Hyperclan that is coming through, and they are attacking. And yes, here you can see that Protex guy, and Wonder Woman and Green Lantern are gonna go take take care of them on the outside. Um, I like the fact that they use Wonder Woman like she needs oxygen. She can't just breathe outside. I mean, they've done that also with Superman. Superman can't breathe in outer space anymore. Superman, um, as super as he is, he needs a suit. So I do like this that regardless of how powerful she is, there are still limits to her power, and they're trying to jettison, but nothing's working. So Metamorpho gets them all inside, and he is going to save them and take them to Earth. So he actually becomes the shuttle, and off he goes. Meanwhile, Wonder Woman and Green Lantern continue to fight, and I believe the satellite is destroyed. They're heading to Earth. Metamorpho is trying to make sure that he saves his friends. And so, in the Antarctic, they are going to create a uh, like a headquarters for them. So, in return, Metamorpho saved his friends. Superman says that he talked to Protex, and they insist that it was not them. which of course he doesn't believe him, and that he believes that they're lying. So here the Justice League is assembling, and they're waiting for Aquaman and Batman. As if you notice, Batman hasn't appeared, but suddenly he says, "I'm here," and here's Batman. Again, if you look at the pose, it's very cool. I love the fingers. He gives them these pointy fingers. Um, During this time, he has the black symbol, but he does this so that you can see it, so that you can identify Batman. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to see it because the symbol is black. And Superman says he didn't hear his heartbeat, and he kind of mumbles that his gadget worked, and asks Superman if he can detect microwaves, and notices that there is some kind of mind control happening. Batman has deducted that those new superheroes are not the superheroes that everybody thinks, and that this is war. And here, this is how the issue 1 ends. So, love this pose here, Batman, with the team getting ready. So, it's so cool. It's so cool. If we could just get rid of that mullet, this would be a poster that you could have in there. I love his long arms. That's the really cool thing about comic book art. It's not meant to be realistic. It's not meant. I love artists that just draw. It doesn't the arm can be as long as short as whatever you want. There really isn't a wrong way to draw comic books. It's just preference of style. If you like a style, that's great. If you don't, find one that you like. So, anyway, so JLA #1 from 1997. Like, follow, subscribe to my YouTube channel.